Can you remember how many clubs or groups you were part of in school, college or university? There was always something for everyone throughout education when it came to classes and also extracurricular activities. Well, whether you were sporty, that wasn't me, I have to say, good with your hands or something like crafts or make-do and mend, a keen reader, part of a book club or a musical, being part of a band or a choir. You'll remember it well, I'm sure. Our next guests know a little something about that last one because I hear they're quite good budding singers, performing at various shows and singing songs from some well-known shows as well. And here's to tell us more is Matthew Plant, Beth and Ritchie, all from Cronton Sixth Form College. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you all here on this summer day when you could have been just wandering around having a nice time in the sun. You're sitting here in a hot studio, but thank you very much for joining us. First of all, Matthew, could you tell us a bit about Cronton College, first of all, the people who don't know it?
Well, Cronton Sixth Form, it's been there since the mid-70s. It's an exceptional place, and what we find most supportive about the entire environment is it's just so welcoming. You know, from the top down, the support for performing arts is quite extraordinary. And over the last few years, we've set up for ourselves a Centre of Excellence, and the Centre of Excellence deals mainly with extracurricular projects. So where across the nation there might be one, perhaps two extracurricular performances throughout the year, we've got sort of 3, 4, 5 different projects for the kids to get stuck into. And we've found that we've got a real growth area there, and we're very, very grateful for it. A lot of what the Centre of Excellence does as well is just try and promote the transferable skills, the confidence building, the character building. It isn't all about going into the industry and becoming rich and famous. It's about creating the character, making sure that they're a little bit more confident as they express themselves throughout life. So every alternate years we've got a visit to Paris where we take them and perhaps go backstage to the Moulin Rouge or Palais Garnier as we did this year, which is the inspiration for Phantom of the Opera. And then this coming February we'll be taking them back to New York University where we take part in workshops for Broadway musicals and that kind of thing. But what I'm most proud about the whole thing is that it's extracurricular. There's no examiner at the end of it. There's no possibility of any other reward than the thing itself, and we're very, very proud of that.
Yeah, when I was at school, I went to the Isle of Man.
Oh, right, okay. So very nice place indeed.
So Beth, start with you. How long have you been at the college for?
Just coming to the end of my first year now.
Just the first year now, yeah. Mm-hmm. And are you enjoying it?
I love it, yeah.
Yeah, and what made you go there? I mean, presumably you could have gone to any other college. What made you go to Cronton?
I think Cronton in general has a really friendly atmosphere, but I think for me the thing that clinched it was the Centre of Excellence, because I'd seen quite a few of their performances beforehand, and there's such a good quality and there's such a nice group of people who are part of them, so that was something that really attracted me to Cronton. Yeah.
And Ritchie, you been at the same time?
Actually, I'm approaching the end of my 4th year.
You're at the end of the 4th year?
Yeah, I'm
enough. You're allowed to stay that long? Has somebody not said you need to leave by now?
All of us.
So, and again, why were you attracted to Cronton? I mean, there is a lot of competition these days for sixth form. So, why were you attracted there?
It's the same actually, because it was during a period when I was considering a lot of colleges, and I remember I was on an open day to Cronton, and I had no idea the Centre of Excellence was a thing. I was walking in the halls, and I heard at the time it was Les Mis. That was the production they were rehearsing for. Yeah. And that was when I knew this is the place for me. I've got to stick around and be a part of this.
Yeah. Now, Matthew, just I mean, you teach a whole range of subjects, don't you? These are extracurricular that you do here. So before people think they're not learning anything else other than just how to sing, dance, or whatever, you teach the whole gambit of the.
Yeah, we've got 30 plus A levels, of course, but we've also got the BTEC, the vocational, and our sister college is Riverside as well, which is just down the road. So sort of everybody is catered for. It's definitely all things to everyone. I think one of the most exciting projects, which we're sort of touching upon over the last few weeks, is we're planning for a purpose-built theatre, which is going to be at the back of the building, and hopefully by this time next year it will be open. And I think at a time of austerity and that kind of thing, we're in a situation where the investment from the senior management team in performing arts is quite extraordinary. I'm not saying it's unique by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's definitely a unique selling point at the moment currently in education, where you've got an institution that is thoroughly committed to promoting the performing arts in the region and beyond, really.
And how long has it had this specialism for?
Well, the actual Centre of Excellence itself was formed in 2010, and the idea from the then principal was that of course that performing arts is the window into the college. Anybody in the community at any time throughout the year when there's a performance on can buy a ticket, come and have a look at exactly what's going on, and that in turn should be quite representative of the college as a a whole, and we've always prided ourselves that we feel that most certainly is. And some of the best memories that I've had over the last few years isn't necessarily about the performances themselves. It's about the way that the kids all just get together, and that we build the sets together. Everything is a very cohesive and very supportive environment. We don't bring anything in. We try to hire as little as we can. Everything is about the kids just gelling and creating that team effort, which of course, as I said to you at the beginning, is everything we are. If we had a mission, it would be about transferring skills, which is a bit of it's a bit of an Ofsted mantra, but in actual fact, the very essence of team building at a time when society can be very much about oneself. Everything is about the reward at the end of it. But in actual fact, as I said, the reward is the actual thing itself, and we're very proud.
Now, Beth, you said you were attracted by the fact of this particular specialism. Have you got a particular interest in one aspect of the performing arts?
I would like to go into musical theatre. So I do drama A-level, which obviously focuses more on straight drama and different drama practitioners. But what I really enjoy about the Centre of Excellence is obviously it gives you more of an opportunity to perform, and we get lots of opportunities throughout the year where we can perform at different venues. And so musical theatre is what I'm very passionate about.
Never get a lunch hour. That's for sure.
Well, that's. I'm sure that's very, very true indeed. I'm sure that's very true. And Ritchie, for you, I mean, you've been there 4 years now. Are you in your head? Are you beginning to sort of map out your future in that sense?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very motivated, very enthused to go and study musical theatre soon at university. Mostly because I've learned over the time in college, it's just the atmosphere I love being in. I've always said, even if I wasn't involved in the show, I'd probably be hiding behind the curtains because it's just where I feel most at ease,
Yeah, but I mean, it was an interesting point that Matthew made there about teamwork, but yet, you often hear stories, don't you, about people who are performers being very, very self-focused, and you hear the word diva being bandied around. So how do you balance those two things? Because at the end of the day, if you're up on stage, it's you performing, but, how do you balance that with the teamwork?
Well, often what unites us all is that it is all self-contained. Every aspect of it is done by ourselves. So if there were any sort of enmities, we're amicable by the end of it because it's completely a team effort. We've been through the same struggles, and the phenomenon of the show week is one of the most hard experiences you can go through. But it's wonderful to come out shining.
Okay. Well, listen, we're gonna because the thing is, it's pointless having you here if you're not going to perform.
Yeah.
So we are going to get you to perform. Beth, are you happy to go first?
Yeah.
Is that right? We've got Beth's track lined up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beth, we've got our traffic and travel in 3 minutes. Can you fit it in that time? Don't worry if you don't. I'm only joking. We'll make the traffic and travel wait. Okay. So let's have you, Beth, first. Beth, give us your surname, by the way.
Lindop. Beth Lindop.
Beth Lindop. And Ritchie?
Redmond.
Ritchie Redmond. Okay. So Beth Lindop, what are you going to sing for us, first of all?
I'm performing Somewhere That's Green, which is from our upcoming production of Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay, that's great. So this is Beth Lindop with Something That's Green. Here we go. Over to you.
I know Seam was the greatest, but I'm dating a semi-sadist. So I got a black eye in my arms in a cast. Still, that Seam was a cutie. Well, if not, he's got inner beauty. And I dream of a place where we could be together at last. A matchbox of our own, a fence of real chain link, a grill out on the patio, disposal in the sink, a washer and a dryer, and an ironing machine, in a tract house that we share somewhere that's green. He rakes and trims the grass, he loves to mow and Crocker, and I look like Donna Reed. There's plastic on the furniture to keep it neat and clean. In the pine sol scented air, somewhere that's green. Between our frozen dinner and our bedtime 9:15, we snuggle watching Lucy on our big, enormous 12-inch screen. I'm his December bride. He's father, he knows best. Our kids watch Howdy Doody as the sun sets in the west. A picture out of Better Homes in Gardens magazine. Far from Skid Row, I dream we'll go somewhere that's green.
Beth, that was absolutely fantastic. That
Thank
was
you.
really, really good. Ritchie, it's your turn next, but I want to ask you about that song in a few moments. We just need to take some traffic and travel, okay? Yeah, if you've never listened to BBC Introducing, it's a great show, and don't think that it's not your type of music. You will hear music there that you'll love, and you'll hear music that then, maybe 6 months, a year later, you're going to hear in the music charts, because that's how they break through. Some really good stuff on BBC Introducing from 8 o'clock tonight. You've just been hearing from Beth Lindop, who gave a fantastic rendition. Just tell us about that song. For those people who don't know it, where's it from?
So it's from the show Little Shop of Horrors, and it's sung by a character called Audrey, who I'm playing in our production. And she's quite a vulnerable character. She's from a place called Skid Row, which is it's a bit of a dump, really, isn't it? And they don't have many opportunities. She doesn't have a lot of hope for the future, but the one kind of beacon of hope she does have is a guy she works with called Seymour, who Ritchie plays. And so this song is her kind of envisaging a life.
Great. Okay.
In the future.
So we'll come back to you in a moment, Beth. Ritchie Redmond, you are going to sing a song for us now, aren't you? Tell us what the song is, first of all.
I'll be performing Bring Him Home from Les Miserables.
If you're sitting there, you better get your hankies ready, okay? Just go off. You've got 10 seconds to get your hankies out and get ready for this, because this will make people cry, won't it?
And hopefully.
Not because it's bad, but because it's good. So this is going to be a great song. I'm going to hand over to you. We're in your hands, Ritchie, to take us through. Tell us the song once again.
Bring Him Home from Les Miserables. God on high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home. bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one. How soon they fly on and on. And I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young, he is only a boy. You can take, you can give. Let him be, let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him
That was fantastic.
Thank
That
you,
was
thank you.
absolutely brilliant. The two of you are just absolute stars. And I mean this in the best possible way, but at the end of the day, you're sixth form students, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if I was listening to that on the stage of the Empire or the Palladium, I wouldn't be disappointed. I would be absolutely, you know, if I'd paid my £50 or whatever the ticket would be, I would be very, very chuffed with that. Absolutely brilliant. Really
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Just tell me, Beth, when it comes to musical theatre, how much of your sort of effort and concentration is on the singing as opposed to the drama of it? Because it combines the two, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing musical theatre since I was really little now, so it's kind of something that I just kind of do instinctively, acting through song. But I think the key is when you get your song nailed and you get the vocals nailed, and then you have to start thinking about the character and bringing the emotion in as well.
Yeah. And Ritchie, I know there's been a lot of TV shows recently, you know, well, they've sort of gone off the boil a little bit, really. But we had Maria and Oliver and all like that. I mean, you know, for someone like you guys who are studying it and you want to go on to study musical theatre, be honest with us, is that a bit irritating to do that sort of thing? I mean, you know, when you see these people who make it through and you just go, you know, why don't you just do it like the hard way like we do?
Well, it is seen as something of a novelty, but the industry itself is one of the most fickle. So, you know, we couldn't blame those individuals for trying to get, you know, safety net wherever they were.
I think as well, like them shows, the Maria show, which was out when I was about 6 or 7, that was one of the main things that inspired me to go into musical theatre.
Really?
So,
yeah. That's interesting, that.
Yeah,
that's,
so they are really
interesting.
important as well, I think.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting, yeah. And just bringing you back in, Matthew, I mean, in terms of these students that come to the college, I mean, how influential is your specialism, do you think, in trying to attract students? I mean, there must be some students there who've got no interest whatsoever in performing arts, but how important is it to have that specialism?
I think what some of the best students that we get sometimes often don't do performing arts at all. They're from a maths and science background, and so because it's an extracurricular endeavour, they're able to come in over the lunchtime. But I think you know, it is providing that all, quite literally, that all singing, all dancing sort of effort that you see on an open evening that make it so predominantly warm and welcoming that perhaps you don't get at other colleges. We're plonked right bang in the middle of the foyer, and we're probably too loud, and it's very difficult for people not to have to listen to us. And so as a consequence, we sort of bully our way into people and parents' lives as they're coming in. And we've found that it works for us, you know. And I mean, you know, it's not just drama. There's music, there's dance. We've got an exceptional course on both, you know, with international visits to Amsterdam and that kind of thing. There's loads going on that attracts the kids prior to even listening perhaps to a performance. But indelibly, the performances do make a great deal of difference. We get year 9, 10, 11 coming in to see the matinees of the performance. We know what we're bringing them in for. We want to sell the place. But we also, I must be honest, we want them to have more of an eclectic experience. We want them to go to other places. We want them to make judgments that are rational. So this is not an opportunity just to sell. It's an opportunity to say, just get out there. And if it's what you want to do, it has to be something that you follow. And I have a little a thing that I say at the end of each performance is, Beth was going to ask me if I was getting it in. And I was, it is about, you stand up at the end of each show and you say, you know, people go on, particularly now in the last sort of decade or so, about the youth of today. And I continually have to remind the audience that this is the youth of today. That they're clapping, they're standing up for maybe for a minute at a time as an ovation. It is about the youth of today. And the youth of today are absolutely magnificent, you know, absolutely magnificent. And that's what I get up every morning and come into work, and it's not a job, you know, it's an absolute privilege and it's an absolute honour. And these are two of the finest examples of that.
Well, that's great words coming from somebody who's one of the leaders in school. Beth, just tell me, I mean, you guys are going to sing a duet in a moment, aren't you? Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm sure you are under absolutely no illusions. It's a tough industry, isn't it?
It is very tough, yeah.
So where do you go from here? When you leave, you know, Cronton College, where are you going next?
So I've got another year left doing my A-levels. So next year what I'm going to have to do is apply for drama schools. And the audition process is quite rigorous for that, as Ritchie knows from, you've auditioned this year, haven't you?
Yes, I have, yeah.
So hopefully I will get accepted into one. But you've just got to keep working hard.
And is there have you got a preference where you want to go?
There's a drama school called Guildford School of Acting, which is really good. But again, they're all incredibly prestigious. So it's just kind of trying your best and seeing who'll accept you, really. Absolutely.
Well, you know, if that performance was anything to judge by, then, you know, I'm sure you're not going to have any problem. Ritchie, so you've been for some auditions.
Yes.
And it is, when you're applying for the drama college, it is literally an audition, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
very arduous.
So just take us through what happened on one of the typical ones that you went for.
You're made to wait for a great deal, which is one of the most daunting aspects of the experience, actually. And there's usually 3 aspects to it, because they need to assess you on voice, movement and acting. And often with the more prestigious places, there's several rounds to it as well. And you know, it's like a crucible being getting onto the 3rd and 4th and later rounds. I actually am looking to go to University of Chichester, which is as it's degree based. It's a less daunting experience, but that's actually better for me. Actually, I prefer to do a degree.
Right. Okay, that's great. So, guys, you're going to sing together now.
Yeah.
Tell us the song first of all. Beth, what is it?
This is Suddenly Seymour, which is the duet from Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay. And is there a lead in this, or you literally sing it together?
It's a duet, I'd say.
It's a duet. Okay. All right. Here we go. Over to you guys.
Lift up your head, wipe off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, as clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you with sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend.
Nobody ever treated me kindly. Daddy left early, Mama was poor. I'd meet a man and I'd follow him blindly.
he'd snap his fingers in me, I'd say sure. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me. He don't give me orders, he don't condescend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide me with sweet understanding. Seymour's my friend.
Forever. Tell me the bad times are clean washed away.
Please understand that it's still strange and frightening for losers like I've been. It's so hard to say. Suddenly Seymour,
Suddenly Seymour,
he purified you. Suddenly Seymour,
Suddenly Seymour. Yes, we can
learn how to
be more. The girl that's inside me.
with sweet understanding.
Sweet understanding.
Sweet understanding.
Sweet understanding. With sweet understanding. Seymour's your
Guys, it was absolutely brilliant. That was
Thank you.
absolutely brilliant. It really, really was. Absolutely perfect. It was just outstanding.
Thanks.
Really, really was. If I don't see you guys on stage in, 3 years' time?
Yeah,
Is that fair
absolutely.
enough, Matthew?
Yeah, I would say
3
so.
years. We'll give them 3 years,
Yeah,
won't we? Yeah,
just
we've got to
3
get through
years. Tell me about
university
it.
and college and things like that. But that was really, really good.
Thank you.
It was
Thanks,
exceptional. Now, there's going to be listeners out there who are thinking, where can we come and see the students from Cronton College perform? Have you got any public performances coming up?
Yeah, on the 6th and the 7th of July. That's Thursday and Friday. The Thursday, we're putting on an earlier performance at 7 o'clock for the family because it can be attended by children of about 8, 9, 10 and above. And then on the Friday, back to normal time of 7:30. Now, this is one of the final productions that we'll be doing at Centre Stage Theatre on the Riverside campus in Kingsway Widnes, because we're having a new purpose-built theatre that's going to be coming about in the next academic year. So it'll be a very special performance for us.
Yeah, that'd be good. Are you looking forward to that, guys?
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
looking
have
forward
left
to it.
then, but I'm still excited for
No,
that.
you're surely not. You've been there 4 years. They'll let you stay a little bit
Definitely be
longer.
back. But Beth, you'll be there, won't you?
I will, yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's quite amazing. We've looked at the style of the Everyman in Liverpool, which has been a great influence for us. And we were allowed backstage to have a look at the way they were doing things. And it's very much the kind of environment that we want for ourselves. And it's just going through the planning stages at the moment. But like I said, in the current climate, it's an extraordinary privilege to be able to be an opportunity to be a part of the planning stages of anything, to be honest.
Well, guys, it's been an absolute privilege to have you here today, and I genuinely
you.
mean that.
Thanks.
It's really,
Thanks for
really
having
good.
us.
Thank
There's
you.
plenty of other places you could have been on a sunny Saturday afternoon, but coming here to sing for us, absolutely brilliant.
We would
So-
have just come for the air conditioning. It's outstanding.
Don't tell it. I've been telling the last listeners it's roasted in here. Everyone doesn't feel sorry
sorry
for me.
about
There
that.
we go.
Sorry.
So Beth Lindop, Ritchie Redmond, and of course Matthew Plant from Cronton Sixth Form
Thank
College.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, guys. Absolute pleasure, and we wish you very, very well for your future in the industry. Thank you.
you.